Pokemon has been a staple in my life ever since I was a wee lad who could barely stutter out a word or form a thought. So, about 4 days. In all seriousness, Pokemon has been around me as long as I can remember. I've played pretty much every mainline game, save for Gen 9, and I love the spin offs, etc., etc. However, what may be strange is that the one game that has resonated with me the most throughout my life is Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon. Yes, the 2015 entry to the Mystery Dungeon spin off series, and I didn't really understand it until very recently. But before we jump into it, you guessed it, I'm gonna ask you to subscribe, please and thank you. This script, while not detail specific, is pretty personal, so I'm gonna try to guilt trip you into hitting the subscribe button. When I played Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon, which I'm going to refer to as Super generally from now on, as an 11-year-old, God, I'm old, 21, I just found it a simple and addicting, fun little romp in the Pokemon world. That is, until the plot really took off and suddenly 11-year-old Relic found himself engrossed in an incredibly simple and shove it down your throat plot about negativity and never giving up. But man, once that Dark Matter Phase 2 music hits and everyone is turned to stone and telling you to not give up, by the way, spoiler alert, a little late, but it's been 11 years. To me, there was nothing like it, and I really needed that. See, if you can't tell based on my uploads so far, which I sure hope you've watched, I have a brain that loves to overthink things. I love to pick things up and overthink it all. So to have a plot that was just really simple yet beautiful was just what I needed as a kid. Now I don't have a 3DS anymore, so I can't replay Super, which makes me sad because lately I've been craving that basic plot again. And don't get me wrong, I now love intricate plots interwoven through main and side quests that utilize every system a game has to offer and every character you meet. I can also really just appreciate a game that says, here, main character is good, bad guy's bad, basic yet emotional plot with good music and a happy ending. But maybe it's because I didn't just need this game as an 11-year-old. Maybe now I need it again. Super Mystery Dungeon was a comfort game for me growing up. Yes, even in those hours at the start, just going to school and living in the village, that slow burn of just life, it was all part of something simple. We're in a world right now that is complex and destructive. Having a slice of just peaceful village life filled with unique Pokemon and cute wooden homes and the promise of a great big adventure, but your biggest problem at the time is just a Pancham bullying you, is something I think I still need to this day. You would know if you watched my other uploads that if I haven't beaten you over the head with it enough, that my life is about to change dramatically. And Super Mystery Dungeon was there for me when it was changing dramatically as a child, too. Though a character I can see in a more mature lens right now is Dark Matter. Now, if you don't know or you need the refresher, Dark Matter wasn't this nefarious villain hoping to burn the world just because. It was hoping to burn it in the sun because dark matter, as it states so itself, is everyone's negative feelings and energy manifested into something real. It literally knows no other feeling or way. And having grown 10 years older since playing this game for the first time and having experienced more of the world, I can understand the struggle and pain of your negative emotions and energy having real, tangible physical marks on the world around you. When that negativity takes over, when it grows so large inside you, it feels like the sun is about to consume you whole, that you're going to burn up and burn out. But, like in Super, having a friend there, having a system tell you, no, you are not giving up. And I don't mean like a system as in the government, I mean a real system of guidance for yourself. Or even just having a positive presence around you, it gives you some strength to stop and say, you're right, I'm not giving up. And to the credit of Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon, it doesn't end with dark matter escaping or getting destroyed in some wild, stupid way. To the credit of the writers, dark matter ends by getting what it wants. acceptance. As the sky turns blue once again, dark matter thanks you and your partner from freeing it from its self imposed prison. Experiencing that as a kid is one thing, but facing a massive life transition right now, it hits differently. It's a reminder that growing up isn't you learning to destroy any of the sadness or anger inside of you. It's you learning to accept it, to acknowledge it, and find a way forward anyway. Because those feelings aren't going anywhere, not unless you take them somewhere they can go. And hopefully, you can take them to a place of peace. I needed Super Mystery Dungeon as a kid, and I think I need it again as an adult. As I mentioned earlier, I don't have that red 3DS XL anymore I opened up on Christmas Day when I was 9 years old. Even if I did, I don't have the physical game. But what I do still have are the lessons and experiences gained from Super Mystery Dungeon. I still remember the sadness I felt when your partner Pokemon disappears. He was a Bulbasaur when I played the first time. And going on that journey to find the friend again. I'd gotten so attached and was just distraught. Trust me. But getting back on track, I can't play the game anymore, but I can move forward. I can accept that I can't change everything. Now I can change the things I can change and accept the things that I can't. I can figure out how to give those things the space in my life that they deserve and to move the things that don't deserve it out. The times of stillness and peace, like in Serene Village, are parts I hold on to tightly because I know those times aren't going to last. But there will be times just like it again. That's something I try to remember, and I can choose to enjoy the great big adventures when I find myself on them. I can choose to open myself up to new experiences and new people, because without it, the weight of the world can feel very heavy. Dark matter is always going to be there. We can't escape it. I know it sounds grim and sad, but it's true. We just can't. But we can acknowledge it. We can choose to accept it. We can even choose to embrace it and say, yeah, you are a part of me, maybe a big part. I may not like it, but you aren't leaving. And you have to say, neither am I. Because giving it that space gives it the ability to win. And I think you're stronger than that. My videos really do have a habit of getting corny when I'm talking about important topics like this, but I think that's important for topics like this. While I know Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon isn't the most loved adventure in the Mystery Dungeon series, I needed it then, and I need it now, and I think the world could use it now too. It's an incredibly simple adventure, but it is so beautifully simple, and the charm and plot are what have made it stick with me for 11 years. And because of it, I have thought about this game that gives the battle with mental health a charming little makeover, and I've always looked on it fondly throughout my own struggles. And I hope you do too. I think making it charming and simple makes it more accessible. And I think that accessibility is so important. I think more games should actually be more accessible like that. If a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game, a spin off of a child franchise about catching little monsters and fighting them, can give a simple, charming adventure about mental health and accepting the negative emotions, I think more games have no excuse. So I guess this is my way of saying thank you, Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon, for being that accessible game. I know there are others, don't get me wrong, but this is the one that stuck with me, as I've said plenty of times, and a couple more times because there's still more voice recordings coming after this. So, to wrap up my thoughts in a very off the cuff way again, so I guess this is kind of my outro. Okay, shut up, Relic, and finish it. I think that accessibility is partly what makes Super Mystery Dungeon so special to me about its story of mental health. And I know the other ones have similar kind of simple stories, but maybe it's just the bias I had because it was the first one I truly experienced. Super Mystery Dungeon stuck with me. And for that, I will always be grateful. because 10 years later, here I am yapping about it in a YouTube video and enjoying the process of revisiting it so much. I do sometimes rewatch the ending because 11-year-old Relic loved it so much. So, I guess thank you, Super Mystery Dungeon. I needed you then, and sometimes I rewatch you a little bit now. So, yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about for this video. Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon. I've been really going back into my passion for Pokemon lately, playing a lot of fan games and ROM hacks, and yeah, I don't know. It's just been really fun to kind of feel like that kid again who was so enamored by this world. Um, yeah, please leave a like and subscribe. I'm gonna ask again. Um, hopefully the next video will be soon. I have a couple ideas mulling around in my head. Um, this one's a little more off the cuff, I guess. I just wanted to talk about it. And if you haven't yet, play Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon with the knowledge I gave you about how in depth and intricate its plot is, he said sarcastically. Um, yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Um, I don't know why I'm really letting this outro go on. All right, bye, guys.